Today I want to talk to you about how to budget for your marketing. So in Real Estate Evolution, there's two sections that I'm going to talk to you about today that are relevant. Step 2 is look for leads, and step 10 is choose profit. I was going to say flourish. That's actually step 1. So step 10 is to choose profit. Step 2 is to look for leads. And those are really important areas of having a successful real estate sales business, as the other 8 steps are as well, of course. So let's talk about profit first, and then we'll go back to the budgeting specifically for your marketing. The 2 things that I want to recommend before I dive into the marketing piece that you should consider to do to have a profitable business are really basic, easy things to do, but a lot of agents just refuse or don't do them for whatever reason. Step number 1 is set up a business account, and step number 2 is to get a bookkeeper. If you do just those 2 things, then you're going to be so far ahead of where you could be. So if you haven't done those before, do those today. Like today, take action today and get that done. I'll put some links in the portal here that you can choose for a bookkeeper. And even if for a business bank account, even if you're spending all the money that you make on your personal bills, you may say, okay, Dan, I'm not ready for that. You are. You just have to take an extra step. Put all the money into your business account and then transfer from here to your personal account and then pay your personal bills. It's pretty simple. And the reason why you would want to do that is so that you can start thinking like a business owner. You can start treating your business like a business, and then your bookkeeper is going to help you keep score. And then as you keep score, the reason why it's important to keep score isn't to say, hey, I want to make all the money in the world. Well, no, that's good. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's to sit there and say, I'm going to be a responsible business owner, and I'm going to watch my money and understand how my money can be able to be spent. Talking about spending money, let's talk about spending it on marketing. First of all, your budget for marketing is my recommendation for, which is called lead generation, should be about 10% of what you earn, for gross should be spent on lead generation. So lead generation, you can put that into 2 buckets. You can put it in prospecting and you can put it into marketing. They both cost you something. Marketing costs you money, prospecting costs you time. So when you consider that, money or time, if you're newer in the business, you probably have more time than money. So you're going to do the prospecting-based activities. As your business grows and develops, that's when you have to add the marketing onto there, because guess what you run out of if you're only prospecting? You run out of time. Okay, so time you can't replenish. You have the same amount of time as I do. So as your business grows, you want to continue prospecting for the rest of the time and then add on marketing to that. But don't go over the 10% in regards to the way you're spending your money. The other thing is any marketing initiative that you take is you should save for 18 months. And what I mean by that is, let's say you want to do a $100 a month campaign, whether that be whatever it may be. Maybe it's mailing postcards. It's probably not enough money to actually do a campaign. I'm just intending to keep the math easy. Let's say your average commission is $9,000, or maybe your average commission is $6,000. If it's $6,000, you're going to want to do 3 transactions. If it's $9,000, you're going to want to do 2 transactions. Put the money into that bank account that I said, the business bank account, and then hopefully you're not spending all the money personally. Hopefully you have enough money left over. Then you take 10% of that money, which in both cases is going to be $1,800, and then you pull it over into a marketing budget. Let's say you don't want to do $100 a month. Let's say you want to do $200 or $100 or more. You just need to make sure that your marketing bank account has enough money to withstand 18 months. So in other words, I put $1,800 into my marketing bank account, and now I'm going to take from that $1,800 $100 every single month, and I'm going to spend that on the market initiative, and I will never run out of money. What I mostly see is somebody has, they have the $1,800 and they'll do a campaign for 3 months anticipating that they'll replenish the bank account. And it's not a good move, because the odds are it's going to take you up to 18 months to actually start getting traction. You'll get traction before then, and then you can start increasing your marketing budget. So you start small and then you increase it as you go along. Now, how can you actually spend your money? Before I talk about that, here's how you can spend your time. So let's talk about prospecting. Prospecting, you can do a lot of different activities. You can touch your sphere of influence. Sometimes that costs a little money. We'll talk about that in a second. You can do Facebook interaction, not Facebook advertising, just like connecting with people on Facebook or other social medias. I say Facebook because I guess I'm an old guy, and Snapchat is something I don't even, my daughter has Snapchat. So I have seen Snapchat. She's 9. I don't know if she should have Snapchat. Anyways, that's a different conversation. All right, so Facebook is what I primarily recommend. You can go onto groups. If you're a mother, you could go on to a lot of mother groups. If you live in a community, there could be community groups. If you're a dad, you could go on to dad groups. Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of groups in your area. Just the way that you could network in other areas, like maybe you're a member of your church and you have a lot of friends in the church, they'll probably choose you as an agent. Of course, you don't want to approach them in a business perspective. That's a secondary type thing. But either way, Facebook is a great way to be able to get business. And I'm not talking about advertising yet on Facebook. Next way you could do is open houses. I think that's one of the best ways to get business. It has to work for your personality though. Me personally, I'm not an open house guy, yet I think it is one of the best ways to be able to get business. And if it resonates with you and your personality, you should do whatever you do it on steroids, right? So if you want to do just open houses, I promise you, in the next 30 days, you can have tons of business if you did 5 open houses a week, if you did 10 open houses a week, 20 open houses a week, right? That may be a bit much, right? But 10's definitely viable. It wouldn't take you, that's 2 a day. 5 days a week, you could do that. Now, does that seem like over the top? Yeah, but guess what? In 30 days, I promise you're going to have business. All right, so that's open housing. Networking. Networking is another way that you could get business. The key ingredient to networking is that you want to give. You want to give. You want to give. Many people go in a networking group and they're looking to take. You receive secondarily. So if you're a real estate agent, you're watching this video right now, going through this curriculum. If you're in a group of, say, 50 people and you've got a baker, you've got a hairdresser, I don't need a hairdresser, you have a carpet installer, and you have a publisher, right? Unless you're writing a book, you don't need that publisher. But let's say there's 4 different people in that room. And so who should you network with? Well, for me, a lot of people would answer that whoever has the biggest group of people to be able to, whoever's the most, has the most interactions. That's not a bad plan, but I think a better plan is to go with the person that you can help. In this case, it'd be the carpet installer, because I know I can refer business to him. Now, as I refer business to him, we're going to set up a reciprocal relationship so that it's going back and forth. If it doesn't come back to me, guess what? I'm going to get a new carpet guy, right? And so that's the way that you work networking. Networking takes you time. Guess how much time? About 18 months for it to pay dividends. Other ways that you can prospect is you can go door knock on for sale by owners. You can door knock in a community. There's a lot of different ways that you could prospect. To market, you could do Zillow ads. I don't recommend that, by the way, and the reason why I don't recommend it is in the book, because they're cost prohibitive. But if Zillow's your thing, I'm not going to, that's great. Just keep an eye on your numbers. And if your numbers are fantastic, then kudos to you, right? Like, in my marketplace, it just doesn't make sense financially, because there's other ways to get leads cheaper, such as Facebook ads. So Facebook ads is different than what I was talking about earlier about like Facebook networking. Now we're Facebook advertising to potential buyers. These are going to cost you between $2 and $4 a lead. I'm with a brokerage right now that allows for me to get them at $2 a lead. If you go directly to Facebook, it's going to be $4 a lead. If you're interested in learning more about how to get them for $2 a lead, send me a message, and I'll walk you through that. So the Facebook leads, you're going to be looking at about 1 out of 100 that you're going to be getting 90 days from today to 90 days from now. I need 100 leads for me to close 1. From today to 18 months from now, I can close 3 to 5. I have to be able to follow up with them, which is another challenge. So, and here's that challenge. Let's say I get 500 leads. Most agents would do the 5 transactions right now, which would be great considering what you have to invest into it, which would be between $200 and $400. But what you're still leaving a ton on the table, because remember I said it's 3 to 5. So now you're leaving between 2 and 4 on the table because you don't have the capacity to follow up with 500 people for the next 18 months. And that's when you want to consider hiring an inside sales agent, and we'll talk about that on another video. So those are some of the ways that you can market. Those are some of the ways that you can prospect. Just give you a Cliff Notes version here. Number 1, set up a business account. Number 2, hire a bookkeeper. Number 3, 10% of whatever you earn goes into a marketing account. That's a secondary account. Number 4, save 18 months of money before you spend a dime, and only spend that 18 months of money 1 month at a time. So $1,800 in my marketing account. I'm not spending $1,800 a day. I'm spending $100 for the 18 months. Now you can increase that when you have more money in that account. So hopefully that's useful, and thanks for watching it.
Give us a thumbs up by clicking the like button below.